Flags all over the place. I've made an early transfer and I'm committing to a hit this week. Welcome to the Gianni YouTube show. Hope you guys are well. This is my team selection video. 2 transfers for me, a -4. Why? Well, there's so many players flagged. We'll have injury updates on this show. Stay tuned. Son, Lascelles, Porro. We'll go through the best Matty Cash replacements, Bryan Mbeumo replacements. We'll, of course, talk captaincy as well. There needs to be a debate there. We'll look at my team, but first, shall we start with Bryan Mbeumo replacements? Because Thomas Frank has said he'll be out for weeks, not days, right? Now, with that in mind, the fact that he has a blank game week in 18, the fact that he'll be going to the African Cup of Nations in January, this is a hard sell, guys, which is disappointing for many like me that bought him in only a week or two ago. Now, we're going to compare his data with some others. This is a plethora of midfield options. Now, many will look, and I'll go through my top 5 replacements for him in a second. Many are more expensive in terms of the data, some are cheaper. So let's have a look at the non-penalty expected goal involvement. I got these numbers from Fantasy Football Scout. Check Scout out, by the way, if you haven't already. There's a link in my description. This is the non-penalty XGI per 90, right? All season long. Top of the charts, Mo Salah. 0.76. Elite numbers. But not too far behind that, we've got Leon Bailey, by the way. That's impressive, 0.73. He hasn't had too many starts, which is why the data's great when we do the per 90 for players like Bailey. But it looks like Bailey's in the 11 now. And Mbeumo is third at 0.70, right? Now, I've picked out some other players, popular FPL assets, including Saka and Son and Bruno and Bowen. They're all really high, around the 0.5 mark. You'll also get a Gordon, an Eze, and then just below that, the Man City lads, Foden, Doku, and then Chelsea Sterling at 0.41. So all these players are perfectly good Mbeumo replacements. But let's talk about my top 5, shall we? Because we can see the data. It's very good. I've been eye test scouting all of these guys. Some of them are hitting form. Some of them perhaps aren't. Some of them have good fixtures. Some of them don't. Now, the 2 obvious replacements from Mbeumo are Gordon and Palmer. So if I'm listing my top 5, number 1, Anthony Gordon. His home form is insane. He always returns at home. Newcastle, however, on the road have looked ropey. Like, they lost to Bournemouth 2-0. They lost to Everton 3-0. They do play Spurs away this week. And when we look at the next few fixtures, they've got some okay home games in there. They play Fulham at home next week. So you're very much reliant on home games. He's a template pick, around 20% owned. But in terms of FPL community, the world and their dog will be either transferring in Palmer or Gordon this week from Mbeumo. But you guys know me. I don't know if I want to do that. I don't know if I would just... I've got Palmer, right? If I go Gordon, and we'll see my team in a minute, I will have the FPL community front 7, the same as everyone else. And I'm like, this is an opportunity. The Mbeumo injury is an opportunity to go a little bit different. And that's what I want to do. So I don't want to go Gordon. I have got Palmer. So Palmer would be my number 2 pick. I'm considering the following options. At number 3, Leon Bailey. Proper cheap, 5.5 mil. Emery has said, like, he's going to have the opportunity to do the same against Arsenal. i.e. talking about how good he was against Man City, which, by the way, the game against Man City was his best game in a Villa shirt. He's keeping Diaby out the team. He's scoring goals. He's confident. He went off with a couple of minutes to go, reportedly cramp. He's fit. This will be his 3rd game in a week. Leon Bailey isn't used to starting 3 in a week. But I think he's ready for it. I like Bailey a lot. Not necessarily for this week, because Arsenal was a tough game, although Villa at home are clearly amazing. I like Leon Bailey moving forward. My concern is 1 or 2 bad games and Diaby comes back in the team. So it's a risky pick, but it's a high risk, high reward pick because he's flying at the moment and he's so cheap. So Bailey is one option. At number 4 for my Mbeumo replacements, I'm going to give 2 players because they're both for Man City. Foden and Doku. I want to know more from Pep, and I'll be listening to his press conference to see if I get any nuggets of info out. But Doku didn't play last game. Is he going to be fit? Well, let's see if Pep gives us any intel. He was touch and go for the weekend, for the midweek game for Man City, the Wednesday night game against Villa. So with that in mind, I'm hoping by Sunday he's good to go. Now, he is about to play Luton and Crystal Palace. 2 very good fixtures. I know Man City blank in 18. So this is a transfer out waiting to happen. This is a 2-week punt if you go Foden or Doku. But when I look at all the midfield options from Mbeumo replacements, none give me better potential upside than Man City, knowing they have Luton and Crystal Palace in the next 2. It does mean another transfer, though. I'm aware of that, and I guess I'm okay with that. Maybe I go to Gordon then. So Doku and Foden are both tempting me. Foden's been playing well, but been coming off fairly early at 75 minutes. I think he's been needed by Pep. He's played left, he's played right, he's played in the De Bruyne role. It's frustrating for him. I wonder if this weekend we see Doku right, Grealish left, and Foden playing behind Haaland. If we see him in that role, I want him in my team. Let's see. Grealish and Doku have both missed a midweek game, so I think they could come in versus Luton. So eyes on Man City. Again, you always have the ex-Mins risk, a bit like Bailey. At number 5, we're going to go Raheem Sterling. He is on 4 yellow cards. Chelsea have been poor, but when we look at the long-term fixtures, it's hard to ignore Chelsea players. Palmer's the better pick because he's on pens and he's cheaper, but Sterling can be a flat-track bully versus weak opponents. Double Chelsea midfield could be on. Although the game against Everton looks tough at Goodison. I don't know if it's the best entry point, but long-term, Sterling could be the pick. He's playing 90. Like Palmer, they're the 2 attacking midfielders that you know are nailed. The likes of Mudryk or Jackson, you worry about for minutes, but Sterling and Palmer should be good long-term. So that's where I'm at. It's going to be a late call based on press conferences. I like Bailey, Foden, Doku, even Sterling. Gordon's an option, but it feels a little bit boring when I want to differentiate. And I don't think Gordon's getting anything at Spurs away. Newcastle away have been poor. And of course, that AC Milan game is a big distraction, I think, or could become one. So shall we have a look at my team and then go through some captaincy chat? Because captaincy is big this week. Before we do, let me give a quick update on some injuries, some flags. And we'll do that by going through some of the headlines. So, Lascelles, reportedly a dead leg. Lascelles went off against Spurs. Couple of minutes left to go. Didn't look great, but the fact that Eddie Howe has said dead leg should be fine, I'm hopeful it's not more than one game if he does miss. Son was seen, went off early and was seen in agony on the bench. He got a kick in the back. Postecoglou has said he's not sure yet. Not sure if he'll be ready for the weekend. Personally, I think Son will be all right, and he did tell a reporter, I'll be fine. Players say that a lot, though. Pedro Porro, he was seen limping. That's frustrating, because we're going to see my transfer in a minute. And Mbeumo is weeks, not days. So let's have a look at my team then, shall we, from the game we just gone. I got a green arrow, surprisingly. 37 points, 298k in the world. So I guess I'm happy with the green, but disappointing. It felt disappointing. I had Newcastle players double clean sheet wipeout Lascelles and Dubravka with like 5 minutes on the clock. That really gets you. Dubravka was on for bonus as well. Areola, by the way, another injury with his wrist. Moyes hasn't said when he'll return. Gabriel and Tsimikas, boo-hoo. Poor points there. I relied on Taylor's mighty one off the bench. The midfield weren't bad, though. And Mbeumo's 6, along with Salah's 6 captaincy. Saka's 5, Palmer's 8, and Son's 2. Look, Haaland, Son, and Salah all blanking, the 3 big captaincy options. Darwin's 3. Thank you for your assist and your yellow card. I think Darwin starts versus Palace, though. I think Tsimikas starts versus Palace. So I'm hopeful there with my Liverpool lads moving forward. So look, let's look at how I'm set then, because it is flag central. At the moment, I've got flags on Areola. I've got flags on Lascelles, on Son. Not on Pedro Porro, but he was seen limping. So there we go. A lot of flags. And Mbeumo is a red, is a definite flag. So I've made an early move. Matty Cash on Thursday night was due to drop in price again. He's already dropped last week. Last game week. It was dropping again. So I just thought I'm going Pedro Porro early. Now, with regret, no, not with regret, I'm okay with that move. Matty Cash didn't, however, drop. But Porro after the game, after I'd gone to bed, was seen apparently limping by a journalist. Now, on the field, he looked bright as. I'm hoping a lot of players limp after games. They do. And that Porro's absolutely fine. Porro's been a bit of a 90-minute man of late. I think he'll be good. Spurs don't have, like, say, Newcastle, the midweek games as well, the Champions League or the European games. So Spurs have nice fixture, a good fixture spread, considering it's the festive period. So Porro, I'm sure, is going to be fine. Now, Porro conceded 2 goals, got a yellow card, this is against Newcastle, and still picked up 2 bonus points. He's flying at the minute. He's hard to resist. My original plan was Reece James or Porro. This game week taught me it's Porro. Reece James, of course, still not fully fit, and we just don't know if he's going to be starting games or playing 45-minute cameos. So Porro comes in, fingers crossed there. Matty Cash has gone. Now that strengthens me this week for a hit, but also this was a hit I knew I was going to take over the next couple of weeks. Ahead of game week 18 prep with the blank between Man City and Brentford, I felt like I was going to take a hit. So why not reap the rewards of that hit now than further down the line? I didn't want to start Lascelles. I don't even know if he'll start against Spurs. He's definitely not keeping a clean sheet. Taylor, I do not want to start against Brighton. I can't see a clean sheet there. So look, Porro gives me upside, potential clean sheet. It's worth the -4. So the back line, I'm starting Areola in hope he's fit. If not, Dubravka comes in, fine. Porro, Tsimikas and Gabriel is my back line. Not expecting a huge amount of points there, if I'm honest. And Mbeumo's going to go. We've spoken about his replacements in a sec. I really am tempted on the Man City 2-week punt. Crystal Palace and Luton is huge upside. Palace are really struggling at the minute. And Luton conceded 4 to Arsenal at home. They could easily concede 4 to Man City at home. It's just which Man City player I am most tempted, I'd say, on Foden. Son should be fine. Palmer, Saka and Salah. And then my front two, Haaland and Darwin. Now, I do have enough in the bank, and I've left enough in the bank to go Foden. And then if I want to go Darwin to Watkins, I've got the exact money. So that is a potential move for next week. So at the moment, I think I'm fairly well set, despite having to take a 4-point hit. We haven't spoken captaincy though. Before we speak captaincy, how do you guys feel about getting a like in nice and early? Hit that like button and subscribe if you can to the channel. I'd love a subscription from you over the festive period. So look, let's do some captaincy number crunching, shall we? I showed some stats earlier from Scout. Again, I've been on the Scout members area, having another little deep dive on... For me, this game week goes down to, do you want to back Salah away from home or Haaland away from home? And we did that in the week and both blanked. I was like, let's look at some away from home data. How good have Liverpool been on the road and how good have Man City been on the road? So I'm taking Haaland and Salah out of the equation and just looking at the teams. Now, all season away from home, I thought, let's look at the expected goals from these teams. So Man City, I'm pleased to say, come out at number 1 by a country mile. They are the best attack away from home at 18.17 XG. So Man City are flying. Chelsea second at 14.06. Liverpool, Salah's Liverpool, are third at 13.4. Brentford and Arsenal are 4th and 5th. So these are the 5 best attacks away from home when we look at the numbers. Man City are clear. Man City are really clear. I think they'll go to Luton and we're going to see a reaction. They drop points versus Spurs. They drop points again against Aston Villa. They lost to Villa. So they've dropped 4 points there. Pep's going to have them charged up. Haaland is going to be, I think, a monster this game week. You're going to get chances against Luton. If you score early, it could be a big score. Luton have a little go at times as well at home, which could play into Man City's hands, as in the end it played into Arsenal's hands. So I'm going to go Haaland captain this game week. Salah's not a bad option because Palace are struggling. Salah had a little rest as well, didn't he? He came off at, 70, 75 minutes. But for me, I think it's Haaland this game week. And that's why, again, I'm so tempted with my transfer being centred around a Man City player. Guys, have you heard about the members opportunity on my channel? If you want to, you can join and become a channel member. As a member, you get priority in all of the chat when I do lives, but also all the comments. So if you've got a question, I will absolutely answer it in detail if I see you're a member. I'll try and answer any question. And then you can also join my WhatsApp group, FPL WhatsApp group, daily activity, voice notes, videos, the lot. Check that out if you want to be an Ultras member. One of the members is Ali Hangarov, who won FPL last year. That's pretty cool. So forget about being in a WhatsApp group with me. You can be in one with Ali. Guys, that's all I think from me this game week. I am looking forward to the deadline. It's thick, it's fast, it's coming soon. Good luck this game week. Hopefully there's been loads of information for you in this video. If you do have a question, do drop it in the comments and I'll see you on the other side.